winter coat, Crown Cleaners can make it happen. From stubborn stains to delicate fabrics, the expert team at Crown Cleaners uses the latest cleaning technology to ensure your clothes come back looking and feeling fresh. Visit one of their 2 area locations, Kingston Pike on Bearden Hill or South North Shore Drive near Dunkin' Donuts. Online at crowncleaners.com. Crown Cleaners, a tradition of excellence.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340. WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fanrun Radio.
You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fanrun Radio.
Tony Basilio welcoming you to the Tuesday edition. I think it's D-Day for Tony Vitello. I think something's going to happen today is my sense of this. I'm not sourced in that in any way, so to speak. I just have a feeling that today is going to be a day one way or the other. I think that Tony is in the process today of trying to figure out one way or another what he's going to do. And it's extremely interesting. And depending on who you talk to, and I'm sure you're like me, you're asking people that you know that have an interest in it. Depending on who you talk to, he's either staying or going. You know why? Because that's what he's doing. In his mind, he's either staying or going. This is not an easy decision for him. In fact, it's a laborious decision for Tony. I just have a feeling today it's going to happen. I don't know. I nobody's told me that. Just my instinct, being around stuff like this enough. I don't know. Matt Dixon, you know, you and I got on here when the news first popped on Saturday. I know you've been covering Tony for several years. What is your sense of what's going on right now? What do you think?
I think he's probably really torn on what to do. Being on campus, going through practices the last few days probably doesn't make it an easier decision. Probably makes it harder. Mm-hmm. I think he's obviously their top choice, and the job's his if he wants it. It just is whether or not he ultimately decides to take it or not, and that's a decision that really only he can make. And I'm sure it's weighed on him. He probably hasn't slept in a number of days. It's probably killing him to figure out what's the right decision for him. It's almost too good of an opportunity to pass it up, but he also has something extremely special that he's been building here. And he probably never at any point since he's been at Tennessee ever dreamed that this opportunity would come around, because it's just never come around for a college coach before. So, but he's that special that, and it's, the Buster Posey thing, and just Drew Gilbert being out there, I think has played a factor in this as well. That when they see what he kind of did for that locker room, and you can kind of get the guy that, the head coach version of that, really. So I don't know. I've been really depressed over it because it would really suck to lose him. It would be, I don't know if devastating's the right word, but it would feel devastating at least.
Yeah, it's a really interesting thing. I wanted to let your comments breathe there because I think it's worth reflecting on that. Think of a Knoxville, think of a sports landscape without him in it. It seems, John Adams here, presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. And John visited with Jen yesterday, so he's going to sound extra smart today. Because she will have infused him with some very, very interesting stuff. I told Matt before you jumped in, John, and John just got here. I think today's the day we're going to hear something. That my sense of this whole thing, the Giants aren't going to wait forever. There's a break in the action now with Major League Baseball. I think Tony is highly conflicted. Tony confused his kids the other day when he met with them on Saturday when that stuff broke. And some think that Tony's camp put it out. I haven't really talked about it till now because I wanted to let the Alabama game sort of breathe. We had the post game and then we had the post-mortem yesterday. And
how did that game breathe? Is there some heavy breathing going on there?
Yeah.
Then in the first half, there were people gasping for breath.
So I just today I just wonder what's going through his mind, because I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's made a decision.
Well, Tony, I was my wife has been very distraught over it. Yeah, she asked me last night.
Yeah.
She said, well, I guess I'll have to become a Giants fan. What are their colors? Well, here's the thing. Fortunately for Tony, he's tried to decide between two great jobs. How many people are in that position?
That's right.
Yeah, I was thinking back. It's really hard if you like your job. It's really hard to leave it for another job because before I've been in Knoxville since 1987, so I haven't been going anywhere. But before that, I was moving around. All the time, 7 or 8 jobs, and I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs I turned down the first time. I turned them down and then changed my mind and took them. And one I took, changed my mind, and then took it. It's really hard making these decisions. You make a list and you say all the positives and minuses. You always eliminate anxiety because anytime you're making a change, there's going to be a certain degree of anxiety. So you scratch that out. But you look at what Vitello's trying to choose from. I don't think he can ever again have what he has in Knoxville. Doesn't mean he can't have another great job or a great situation, but this is so unusual, a relationship between a coach and a whole town. He's the toast of the town. He's not just a really successful coach. His charismatic personality. The women love him. Let's face it, he's really good looking.
I love him.
Yeah, Tony does. Yeah. And you never give me a second look, but you like Tony Vitello. So it's a very unusual situation. And Tony Vitello, he really bonds with his players. And so he's brought all these players in here, and I think that's something that would weigh on his mind. All these, you talk about make your college choice based on schools, but it sounds good, but the coach, if you're drawn to a coach, I think players come here more for Tony Vitello than they do for Tennessee. There's just not a knock on Tennessee, but it's just a fact. People are drawn to him, and he really cares about his players. Some people pay lip service to that and pretend to care about them, but he really does. I think that it would be hard for him to just leave all that. But on the other hand, you've got this once in a lifetime opportunity. To go to Major League Baseball, and if that's what he wants. No, but this job isn't perfect, but I don't think it's so good that I don't think he would leave it unless he really in the end thought, I want to try this Major League thing. We talked about this before. If he goes to Major League Baseball and doesn't like it, he can do a Nick Saban 180 and said, no, college football is what I'm about, not pro football. And he could come back and he'll coach somewhere else. But I don't think he can have it's hard to believe he could have a better situation in college baseball than he does here.
This place is so him, and he is so this place. I've told him that. You know, it's weird. I can't picture Tennessee baseball without him.
Well,
I just can't.
You saw what Tennessee baseball was without him.
Matt, can you picture that? Can you picture looking over there in that dugout this spring and not seeing him there, or not hearing him on here and all that stuff?
It'd be a very jarring thing to have to get used to. No, I mean, not really. I mean, even if they just would promote Elander and kind of keep everything the same, it would just feel totally different.
I'd feel so sorry for Elander if he got the job. And look, we'd put our arms around him and root for him and cheer for him. But, man, how would you like to be the guy following him? I mean, I'm not sure I would take the job if I were him. I'm being serious. I mean, he's had other opportunities. I'm not sure.
He's had really, really good opportunities that he's turned down.
Yeah,
But here's the thing. I think you almost if Tony leaves, you have to give Elander the job, unless he just doesn't want it, and I think he'll take it. Because if you make him interim coach, I wouldn't. If I were in his position, I wouldn't accept an interim coach's job. You got to give it to him. Give him the whole thing. You can't just say, well, maybe this guy will be good. We'll see. Because if you don't hire him, this thing falls apart. And you've invested millions and millions of dollars in Lindsey Nelson Stadium. These players, it's going to be like nothing we've seen in college baseball. If they wouldn't hire him and players wouldn't stick around, they could go anywhere they want.
So here's what I want to know is what you, the living listener, thinks. People you've talked to in the community, concerned citizens, etc. Brian Hartman, can you picture a world without Tony Vitello in it here locally?
Well, I did see it prior to 2018, and part of me just comes to think that this whole thing just could be a power play, that he never intends to leave anywhere. There is that train of thought out there. I believe somebody from the Lady Vols stepped up in ways they were never going to step up for Kelly Jolly. They saw what Kim could do after 1 year, and they thought, I'm getting behind this. I think Tony wants someone that backs baseball to do the same thing. I think there could be that. And also, this new stadium has to factor into this somehow. He's got this new stadium coming here. I know the San Francisco Giants job and a new stadium in college aren't the same thing, but something's got to give.
Well, Matt had a really good point over the weekend. Matt, how long has the stadium been under construction now? Because it's still not done. It's not going to be done this year.
I mean, it's going on like 5 or 6 years.
You didn't know that, John? It's not done.
I know that there's a lot of red tape they have to go through with it.
No, it's not done.
Being the public university and all that.
It's not done.
But just the visual of Randy Boyd getting that Smoky Stadium built downtown in less time and having it ready and it being, top of the line and for their level, like that's just a really bad like combo to have with everything being drug over there at Lindsey Nelson and they blame it on KUB and all this like that. That's it. The stadium needs to have already been ready, and it's just not. And I'm not sure there's anybody at fault there because again, a lot of red tape and you have to do a lot of stuff at the state level. But that has to be frustrating as hell for him to know that there's a stadium in downtown that got built that's just immaculate, and yours is still you got cranes hanging from it when you're playing super regionals and regionals.
Could it be just the lay of the land is more easier, just a speculation?
I don't know if any of us are qualified to speak to construction.
Tennessee's got a.
There's just not as much space where Lindsey Nelson is.
Tennessee's got an.
I don't know.
Tennessee's got an early afternoon practice scheduled. So, and I do think you can officially say he's on the clock now with the Giants. I mean,
it will happen today, won't it? Don't you believe?
I mean, that's my belief is we're going to know something today. Now, did not come from him. I don't think anybody around him knows, but he's a very mercurial, interesting person. And the Giants job presented itself at a time where, look, if it makes people feel better to rip me online because I don't worship an athletic director, go for it. Okay? You go for it. I'm not going to simp for a guy because he's an athletic director at my school. And I think Danny White's done a lot of good things, and I've pointed those out. But his handling of this baseball deal has kind of sucked. His handling of a national championship coach has kind of sucked. I mean, I'm just going to call this what it is, okay? Now, ultimately, is this going to determine whether or not Tony Vitello goes? If Tony Vitello goes to Major League Baseball, it's because he wants to go to Major League Baseball. It's not Danny White's doing. But Danny White has created an environment where Tony is more than entertaining possibly doing this. And that's why the Donde Plowmans of the world, because they know what I know, which is the relationship between those two isn't very good. And I'm going to jump in there and make sure this guy understands, because Danny's not going to tell Tony, we need you to stay. Danny wants a guy to go. I'm sorry. Listen, you get mad at me for saying that. You can get mad at me for writing that. You can get mad at me all you want.
Do people get mad at you?
Hey, Matt, people don't believe things like that, Matt. But you think Tony Vitello is a Danny White kind of guy, Matt? You think Tony is an institutional guy in any way, shape, or form?
Well, no, of course not. Of course not. You can see that there could be friction there. Yeah, obviously, and not being a Danny White hire probably plays into that some.
Of course.
But again, it's a generational coach that is the best in his sport, and to not treat him, like he runs Knoxville is just a misstep on Danny White's part.
Which is what he's done.
Yes, but you brought it up. For one thing, Randy Boyd, the president, is a baseball guy. She said he just built a stadium
in 30 days.
He beat the Arc.
I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay.
How quick the stadium went up.
And then Donde Plowman has really good people skills.
Incredible.
Never had a chancellor like that.
No.
In Tennessee.
Rock star.
Really good people skills. So, both of those people realize Tony Vitello's value.
Mm-hmm.
They know what his connection is
Mm-hmm.
with the whole town. Not just about, it's not just about baseball. So I think they would do everything they could to keep him. They'll do whatever they can to keep him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't believe Tony would make a decision like this just because some part of his job wasn't exactly what he wanted to be, or whether there was friction with the AD. Not in the big picture, because my gosh, if you're looking for adoration, you got it here. I don't know if you can ever match that anywhere else. It would be hard. But when you look at it, if, as you said, if he really wants to be a Major League Baseball manager, those opportunities don't come along often. This is your shot. He's at a good age to make a move.
Yeah.
He doesn't have personal ties where beyond his friendships and his baseball family, there's no reason that he's shackled to Knoxville.
That actually, John, is probably what makes it more likely to happen, because most successful college baseball coaches have had like families that they would probably not leave for. And him being single.
Yeah, he's he could just.
My understanding is the Huntley guy that they offered the job to didn't want to take the managerial job because he has young kids. He has a family. And he knew the sacrifice, having played that sport, because I think he's with the Ranger organization. But I believe that he just said, ironically.
Well,
here's the way Tony regards this thing, though, because I've talked to him. People think it's hokey. I know they do. He thinks that this is his family. I wrote that today in the blog. Now he's got an immediate family. He's got Greg and his mom and his sister, and they're cool, It's a neat family. But in Tony's world, this is his family. And a lot of people in this community are like family to him. It's just the truth. I mean, I know I get on here and joke around a lot, Italian and this and that. Let me tell you something about him. He is tortured with this decision. If he wasn't, Saturday he would have said goodbye to his team. And I just talked to somebody, he's at the facility right now, and he's playing poker. Somebody just texted me a second ago. We have no idea what he's going to do. Now they're supposed to have a practice today at like 1 o'clock Eastern time. And who the hell knows? So you go out there and practice, and we're just going to continue to do it. The Giants are not going to sit there and wait. They're just not. My sense of this is that today we're going to know something. This is my sense. And I don't know what we're going to hear. We're going to talk about it when we come back. We got a full bank of calls. Listen, I wrote what I wrote about Danny White, but I'm not going to turn Danny White into like a target. But they've created a right environment with the way this NIL and all the changing of the rules and clawing back some of the money from him. And now they can't get money promised to some of these guys. And that's what's going on. I mean, you can believe that or not, and Tony's not a Danny guy. Danny's a Danny guy. Tony's not a Danny guy. Danny's a Danny guy. Danny likes his people. He likes people he hired. You can believe that or not. That guy is a tremendous ego. Tremendous. And by the way, so does Tony Vitello. As I said in the blog yesterday, Tony Vitello, the way I would describe him to somebody is he's kind of nuts. He's kind of nuts. But it works for him. There's no way. The first day I was with him over there, and he said to me, "Can you see it in here? We're going to fill this place up." And I looked at him and I thought, "You are a damn..." I said it to him. I said, "Tony, no offense to you, but that's damn foolish." And he had a little high school baseball stadium back then compared to what they have now. Of course, 5 years later, it's still not finished, but that's another story. We'll talk about it after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. And as the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Fall has officially arrived, so now is the perfect time to make sure your home's heating and HVAC system is ready for the season ahead. Don't ignore the warning signs that your heating or cooling system is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need fast, reliable HVAC repairs, seasonal preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new high-efficiency system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Whatever HVAC problems you encounter, our certified technicians will make a full assessment and then provide the best long-term solution to keep your home comfortable again all year long. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards, so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Look, I'm pretty insane. Okay. And I'm pretty nutty, and I'll do some nutty things on the air. One thing I will not do is speculate as to whether or not Tony Vitello is staying or going. Would one of you guys like to be courageous enough to have that pinned to you today and get people's hopes up? I think he's really, really seriously conflicted. I don't think he's made his mind up.
Well, see, that builds up the drama for your audience and for the whole town. While you were talking about it earlier, I had this vision of this favorite son of a state commits a crime of passion. He ends up on death row, and he's getting ready to be executed. And everybody in the town is praying and hoping that the governor will give him a pardon, a last-second pardon. There's just a sense of what should we call it? There's a little hope. There's some hope. And then there's that dark thought of his leaving.
Oh,
I'm trying to be more dramatic than you are, but I'm not pulling it off. I apologize.
Hey, Matt, I woke up a couple times last night, like kind of disturbed about it. I mean, I'm a grown man. I mean, I shouldn't care about that. It shouldn't bother me if he stays or goes, you know? What?
It bothers the hell out of me. You're not the only one that it just would be such a deflating. I mean, it would just suck. I mean, it'd be awful.
All these people speculating that he's already gone bother me. When they really don't know what they're talking about. They just hear misinformation or hear speculation and they think it's fact.
Well, Brian,
so be careful.
I wrote a column last night about him leaving because I have to have it ready to publish in case he does.
Yeah,
you had to do that. I had to do that.
Yeah.
But I would. Hopefully, there won't be some glitch in the system, and it gets published anyway.
So it's a very interesting thing. Tony's highly conflicted. This is his baby. I think today he's either going to be the first. I just think it's going to happen today. I just have a weird feeling. And I'm not saying that I know it's going to happen today. I'm not saying that. I think it's going to happen today. Because it's got to happen. It's these major league organizations. But that's why the reporting around this was 24 to 72 hours, because the Rosenthals of the world know that these major league organizations, there's 32 of those jobs. And when they say to you, we want you to be our next coach,
there's 30
of those jobs. I'm sorry. They're not going to sit there and wait a week for you. They're not. I don't care who you are. They're just not.
Tony, if Tony Vitello decides to return to Tennessee, I think it would be greeted by the people in the community and the fan base, kind of like when Peyton Manning announced he wasn't going pro at the end of his junior year. I think it would be similar.
It's I think that's right. I think if Tony Vitello stands up there and says he's going, I think there will be elation. I think there will be literally celebrations tonight into the wee small hours of the morning. I really do.
If he's not going.
Not going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you want to
let's go to the phones, because here's the thing. I'm texting with people close to it right now, and unraveling the knots if he does leave. If he leaves, ultimately it'll be because he wanted to try this. But I'm with Matt. I think he could succeed at anything he does. I think he'll hate Major League Baseball. Like if he called me and said, what would you do? I said, Tony, here's what I'd tell him. If that was my son, this is the way I'd counsel him. I'd say, if that opportunity is there for you now, if you continue to do what you're doing in college baseball, that opportunity is going to be there for you in 5 years, 10 years even, because you're now seen in a different light. If you turn this gig down today, Tony, you are seen as the only coach in the history of your sport that turned down an opportunity to manage a major league team. And there's something about the girl that you can't get. Other organizations will look at you and go, wow, what is it about that guy that he said no to our fraternity? Nobody in his fraternity has ever said no to our fraternity. I would tell Tony that. The other thing I would tell him is, think about 162 games. Think about all the travel. Think about the fact that at your level, you can influence your roster. You are the builder of your roster. You are your general manager. Think about when you go to San Francisco, how you're just a guy that fills out a lineup card and has to swallow his tongue when things are going on with these millionaire, billionaire athletes. Think about how little control that you're going to get from the major league organizations, from that organization. All that. He's going to lose all his autonomy. All the things that makes him Tony Vitello sort of go out the window.
Yeah. Here's another thing, though. I've never been around a coach like Tony Vitello. Okay, maybe he will change. Maybe he'll change the perception of what a manager is, because I don't care where Tony goes or what job he pursues. People are drawn to him. He's a charismatic personality, and I can't think of it. I can't think of many managers in Major League Baseball like that. We just think of a guy sitting in a dugout with his arms folded. They're just, okay, I've done my work. I filled out the lineup card. Go get them, guys. But Tony Vitello is so different. I think he would be a star in the major leagues as a manager. I really do. I think he would be, because of his personality. He's just bigger. In a way, he's bigger than what that position is, how we're used to perceiving that position.
I'll tell you what's really strange. Matt, I don't know if you've done this, but I've jumped on some San Francisco Giants boards to see what they're because I thought that the Giants floated that out there as sort of a trial balloon, like the Shiano Sunday thing. We're going to float this thing out and see how the fans react. Because organizations will do that. And then I can always crawl it back, claw it back if the thing blows up in my face. Have you done that at all, Matt? Have you looked out there to see what the Giant fan base is saying?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I have.
I've not gotten that deep into it.
Do you guys want to guess what their reaction is, whether it's positive or negative? What do y'all think? It's a college coach. This has never happened.
I think it's mixed to a degree.
It's extremely positive. Those people are saying their fan base, if I could just put it, obviously nothing's monolithic in terms of the way fan base sees something, but the sentiment that I've gotten, and if go to like their Reddit thing and read it. The thing they say is, we're an organization that needs to try something different. The analytics thing didn't work. This guy is a stone cold winner. He would infuse us with some winning energy. We desperately need it, and we trust Buster Posey. And we're ready for something different.
Yeah, here's the thing, too, about
which is an interesting thing, guys.
With the Giants organization, though. I mean, they aren't the Seattle Mariners.
Oh, no.
They've won What they win three
World Series in 15
championships
years.
in
15 years. Last 15 years, yeah.
Well, didn't they do it in almost like a 6-year run?
Yes. Yes.
So they've had great success.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what kind of money they have. They don't have Dodger money.
Hey, Brian, mute yourself. That's making noise.
I don't think they have Dodger money.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, too. Remember that rivalry that was born in New York?
Yeah.
When it was the New York Giants and when it was the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, they moved to the West Coast.
That's the same thing.
It's maybe, I don't think it's perceived nationally as great as Yankees, Red Sox, but out there it is. I mean, it's such a big deal, and it's gone on for so many years. They would be getting a bigger star personality-wise than what the Dodgers have.
I'd be really curious to see how Tony would comport himself if he got in that environment. It'd be really interesting to see how he would really. No, because you're right, because he's adaptive and very smart. I always say two of the brighter people I've met in terms of room readers were Vitello and Bruce Pearl. Bruce Pearl walk into a room, figure out who's got the keys, and talk right out of his keys. Vitello treats everybody that he comes in contact with respect. That's why he'd be such a huge loss here. And that's why people love him. He's done so many things for so many organizations. He's done so many things that I've asked him to do, and his one thing he always says to me is, just don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. I don't need people to know this. And man, that's just kind of what's different. That's why it's going to blow a hole through me if he goes. Because I know our community is losing a really good dude.
Well, I think the community all knows that.
Yeah. We'll go to the phones. 865-200-5402. Just the perfect conditions have been created for him to really consider this.
Tony, I think you done a great job in the first hour creating a mood. You really have done a great job of this. So it's almost time for a Titans Bill call.
Hello and welcome into our first call on the TLD Logistics phone line We haven't screened them when you open them. You never know who's there. Hello and welcome in. As the show goes, generally how our first call goes, I hope this call is a breath of fresh air. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
How my friends compatriots doing today?
Hey, W. Lynn. Always a breath of fresh air, my man.
Well, Tony, this is a message to Tony Basilio, Dante Plowman, whoever, Randy Boyd, Danny Dollar. Look, if we lose Tony Basilio, that's like kicking the Beatles out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, he's the Beatles to college baseball. And I just want to tell them that I would go to the bank right now, get $1,000 cash, go to the home plate at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, and hand it to Tony Vitello if I knew the money was going to baseball. And I promise you, Tony, with your thousands and thousands of listeners, there's a lot of people in my boat. Some people might could give 100, some might give 2,000, but we could raise 5 to 10 million in NIL money. But what I don't like hearing is if somebody donates money and says, I want it to go to baseball, and it goes to something else. I thought we had solved that problem, but apparently we've not. And I just want to tell Tony V, I'll lead a charge to get NIL money over there in cash. And
the rules
he's
changed.
The most positive thing that's happened to this university in 30 years.
People have a misconception about this. What happened is the rules changed on July the 1st when the House ruling thing went into effect, and they all decided they were going to play by these rules. And so if you got to funnel cash to people now, you got to funnel it to them off the books, okay, going forward. There's the rev share money that you get from the schools, and then there's the rest of the money that you got to get to kids through the back door. And
well, the NIL door.
Well, yeah, but you got to show whatever the thing is for the clearinghouse. The thing is, and this is what's happened here, there, and everywhere, they promised these kids a ton of money in all these sports, but you had to get it to them by July the 1st. If you didn't get it to them by July 1st, then you got to figure out how you're going to get it to them. And this is going on in all these sports. And I believe that some in baseball have been caught in the middle of this. And I believe Tony's pretty pissed off about it because they clawed back some of the money that he thought was going to be his to put it in the women's basket. And I'm not trying to cause any friction here. I'm not. I'm just telling you what's going on. I give you the chess table as it lays out. You can do with it what you will. Listen, he had former players on Twitter last night putting stuff out and then taking tweets down. And I'm not going to name names. You can figure out who was what and who's where. And if I was making that up, why are they saying that? You tell me. You just tell me that. Why are they? I'm the only one that's going to say, you know why? I don't care. What are you going to do to me? I've been here 30 years. What are you going to do to me? You think I'm afraid of Danny White? I mean, are you temporary insane, man? Are you crazy? Continue, W. Lynn.
Well, I just want to tell him as the man that was waving the state flag over there when he was building. And one of the greatest things he ever did was he got thrown out of a game and couldn't be in the dugout, and he had a lemonade stand for a charity outside the stadium. And I'll never forget that. And I'll never forget how, like you say, he embraced everybody. I met him at a lunch that Craig Jenkins invited me to 6-7 years ago. Him and Elander were there. They were nice. They were talking to me like I'm just one of the guys.
Can Elander talk? I've never heard him talk.
Yeah, I sat next to him. He loves it here too.
Cool.
You know, and Tony was just so nice about everything. You know, I was telling him my vision for the new stadium, and he listened. You know, he didn't have to listen to me.
I'm sure that was enthralling.
But
W. Lynn, maybe you're responsible for the stadium.
It's not going the way I really envisioned, but the students keep getting pushed away. And I promise you, Tony, if I'm over there on the porch, I will not be engaged in social tailgating this year. There was a little too much of that last year, and I was guilty of it too. We weren't into the game. You know, we were kind of celebrating the national title. And it's easy to get more tailgating instead of more cheering at times. And I want to bring that stadium back to rocking and rolling, like when the legends of Lindsay were there, and Lindsey Nelson, you know, the legions or whatever, the legends. But Tony, I'm wearing a national championship baseball shirt today. It upset me when I heard the news at like a 3:30. It took away my energy for the Alabama game. I think fans down there at the Alabama game, I think players might have heard about it. I wanted to see Tony V on the sideline of the Alabama game. It hurt. It hurt me. I was not fired up or focused or anything for kickoff.
I wonder if that could have affected the outcome.
Thank you, W. Lynn. Back to the phones we go if you want to get in. Your thoughts on just where we are right now. What's going to happen here? You tell me. Give me your sense of this. What is Tony Vitello going to do? I do think today could be the day.
So if he's trying to make a decision, Tony, you're a music guy.
Yeah.
What song should be playing as he's trying to make his decision?
Oh, The Clash. Should I stay or should I go? No. Should I stay or should I go now?
I think something more dramatic.
So you gotta let me know. He's gonna go to Dan White. Should I stay or should I blow? Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Hey Tony, it's Steve Parker.
Hey Park.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed to be here today.
Yeah, I'm glad you are. I'm glad you're there for us. Because it's either going to be complete elation or need of therapy later on.
Yep.
But anyway, I wanted to sort of, first of all, say thank you to Tony for he helped resurrect my first love, sports love, which was baseball, because the major leagues had done everything they could to take it away. So back in 2021, he and his team helped renew that, and I'm forever grateful. But I want to say this to him, and I hope he's listening. And I'm just an old guy. I'm just an old guy who's spent his life working here and there and everywhere. And there's been 2 times in my professional life where I was happy at a place I was. And I was recruited away, and I struggled with, should I stay or should I go? And I struggled, and I asked people, and I asked, pastors and friends and Eric Bonner, your boy Eric Bonner, and ultimately both times I left, and both times it was a terrible mistake. It was a terrible mistake. And what I have learned from those 2 instances is if you're struggling so hard on whether or not you should stay or go, my personal opinion is you stay. Because if you feel, and if going is the right thing, it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be hard.
It was always hard for me, though. Like I said, I turned down 4 jobs before I took them, and I made the right move every time.
Right.
I think you have to go about it.
4 opportunities, right?
Yeah, but
you didn't just take the first one.
No, but my point is, I liked the job. I liked the job I had. I was happy, but I thought the next job would be better, and it was. Mm-hmm. It was hard. It was a hard decision to make. I kind of think you need to almost not be emotional about it. You just have to. Yeah. You have to know yourself, and you have to know what you want. Yeah. But you make a list. of the pluses to taking the job, the pluses to not taking the job. Why? So either way, but I really don't think either decision, when it comes down to it, in the grand scheme of things, won't end up being crucial. Tony Vitello will do fine whether he stays here.
Absolutely.
And you said you took 2 jobs. You were recruited for 2 jobs and you left. And now you look back and say you wish you would have kept the first one. But were the next 2 jobs, were they bad jobs? How did they go? Was it bad for you?
Yeah, it was. They turned out to be toxic work environments.
Jeez, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Which Major League Baseball could be toxic for a guy like him.
Well, think about this too. If he goes, I wish him all the best. Of course, all the best.
Yes.
And I tell you one thing: that NoCal SoCal rivalry will get amped up.
Yep.
But here's what I want to see. I think we should take bets on the over/under of how many games before he gets thrown out of one.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, because those guys at that level, those umpires, they don't put up with it.
I would say 15.
I'd say spring training.
No, I think he'll keep it together. I think he'll have an awareness of it, but I think it'll just explode.
Yeah.
And he'll be holding it back, and it'll build, and then he'll just explode, and it will be an epic. Who threw the greatest tantrums in baseball?
He'd be a Billy Martin type.
Billy Martin, Dick Williams,
Louis Pinella.
Go out there and
Earl Weaver.
Go out there and kick dirt on
Earl
people.
Weaver was the best.
Yeah.
Bump people, punch people.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Parker. Yeah, I just want to hear from the fan today. We're just going to go through this, and you tell me and what your sense is of this thing.
The one thing that keeps coming to mind is Billy Donovan took the Orlando Magic coaching job after winning the national championship. I think it was 2007. He'd won back-to-back college national championships.
Yep.
He took that job and then came back to do like a goodbye, farewell, whatever presser, and then changed his mind after signing a contract.
Yes.
Duke's coach Mike Krzyzewski had a chance to do the same thing with the Lakers once. I don't know after what season that was.
You're right.
He was still 15 years or so away from retirement, maybe more.
Yes.
And he chose to stay at Duke.
And he almost took it.
I think that's the only thing you can really compare this to.
He took it. He took that job and then turned away. Donovan took a pro job and then turned away and came back and I think won a couple national championships after that. So we'll come back on the other side. Bobby Cremins took a job one time.
Glenn Mason was Kansas coach and went to Georgia
on Christmas Day.
And then turned around and went back.
Yep, on Christmas Day. We'll come back on the other side. We'll get as many calls in as humanly possible. I really believe today's the day. Today's the day.
It's V-Day.
Yeah, I'm going to call the shot after this.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted grade A grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka, and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. Basilio here. No one does it like Alumni Hall. I'm here to tell you, living Vol fan, only one place. That's the best place to shop for Tennessee gear, and that's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands like Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. Load up on hats, accessories, Yeti, all your tailgating necessities. Download the Alumni Hall app, click account, and it'll tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. You earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Alumni Hall, with physical locations in Murfreesboro, Bristol, and 3 locations in Knoxville, now open in Johnson City. Pop into Alumni Hall and get ready and tell them Tony B sent you. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio Show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference. Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama's Easy approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ. One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fanrun Radio.
So it's hour number 2 on your Tony Basilio Show, and I believe today's the day we're going to find out something about Tony Vitello. Tony, did Tony Vitello tell you? No, he didn't. But I've done this long enough to trust my instincts. I think today, by nightfall, we're going to find out something. In 55 minutes, Tennessee is supposed to be practicing. I know for a fact that Tony is in the complex right now. I believe that today is going to be the day that we're going to find out what's going to happen with him. He's got to tell his players something. And he's got to let, and the truth is, he's got to let the Giants know too. And so I believe one way or another, he's got to decide what he's going to do. I believe he's tortured by this. I believe he's been tortured by this. I believe he feels like there's just no way.
What?
There's just he's got to feel like one way or another, this has to be an extremely torturesome thing for him.
God, man, it's
not an easy decision.
You're doing this with so much strength and vigor. I'm bothered by it. Tony, you never stay away from the hard questions. Never. So I think what you should do and what we should do on the show is all of us should say what we think Tony's decision will be. Let's don't dodge the hard choice.
To the phones we go. I'm not getting in the middle of that.
Come on.
Hello and welcome in. Hi, you're on the air.
Tony.
Yo.
Hey, this is D. Lott. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, D. Welcome in.
First of all, I was in Tuscaloosa Saturday, and when I heard that, I just lost all my fire. I didn't even care about the game. I cared about the game, but it just kind of something was missing. I just want to let everybody know that on a personal note, I understand that Tony's brought a lot of wins here, and I wasn't a baseball fan up to like 5 years ago. I couldn't tell you who Tennessee played, how many games they played, where they played, or anything baseball. But now I don't miss a game. But on a personal note, I got a granddaughter that's 9, or she's 10 now, but about a year and a half ago, she was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, cancer in her leg. And she went through, almost 8 months of chemo, lost her hair, had femur cut out of her leg. She's doing fine now. She's in remission. She's beat it. But I want to let everybody know that Tony Vitello, if it wasn't for him, I don't know how she would have ended up, because for somehow or another, he found out about her through Children's Hospital, whatever program. But anyway, he reached out to her, and on every holiday last year while she was going through all that, he would send her videos of talking about, telling her asking her how she's doing, and happy Thanksgiving. He even come up there and brought some coaches with him when she rung the bell up at Children's there a few months ago. And a lot of people probably don't know that side of him. I know everybody's going to miss him because of all the wins, but this community is really going to miss him because I'm sure she's not the only kid that he does that for. I mean, so a lot of coaches don't do that.
Well,
and
you and I both know. You and I both know.
She loves him.
Oh man, that's the thing that really rips my heart out and really breaks my heart is that if he leaves, man, he's helped so many people. It'd be, it's one thing for him to be a great coach like you started out your call with, but he is really, really, really different in that regard. Because you and I both know, D, that he helps thousands of people and never says a word about it. Does not want the coverage. Does not want the coverage, man. Does not want the coverage.
Well, that's the first thing he told my daughter. He said, whatever you get from me, or y'all take many pictures you want, but I don't want it. I don't want recognized on social media for this. So, I mean, he's just a special person, and and I've watched her. She'd lay her in the bed, and no hair, lost a ton of weight, and just not smiling or anything. And then when he'd send her a video, she would light up, and she would just call me to come up there, come to the house and show us, look at this video, Papa. I mean, it's going to be a big loss for the community. Is all I'm saying. And if he's listening, I've told him to his face, I really appreciate what he's done for my family because he really fired her up. I really believe he helped with her recovery. I really believe that.
How is she doing now?
She's doing great. She's in remission. She's struggling walking a little bit because they had to put a metal rod in her leg. But I mean, she's doing great. She's one of the lucky ones, I think. I think she's beat it. She's real strong.
God bless you, Dave.
She's doing good.
Love you, man.
But I just want everybody, the listeners know that there's the other side of him besides just wins.
And it's very much
a
winning side,
Yep.
Thank you, brother.
Yep, sure is.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. You guys have a good day. Hopefully he'll stay.
Thank you.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
I thought he was gone. Now I believe he's going to stay.
I just can't go on the record.
Well, I mean, what's going to happen? You're not going to get fired. You may be 50-50 chance you're right. I don't know you can't be sure what he'll do, but now that I'm listening to that call and think of all of that would be going through Vitello's mind. He's thinking about all these connections he's made. He's not just here coaching a team. He's a vibrant part of this area.
Yeah.
And not the whole state, really.
Well, he told me, which is an interesting thing. He said, because he has a place here, he has a place in Nashville. He's got a place in a couple different places. He's got enough money now to buy whatever he wants. But he told me he knew it was kind of a different deal when he was first in Nashville, nobody would recognize him. So he would just get down there and live his life, And then when you're here, you're Tennessee's baseball coach, and he does that very well, But he said, I knew we had achieved something when people in Nashville are like, hey, all of a sudden, he said, people started recognizing me. He said, that was very strange, because you're in a bigger place. And
sure.
I'm Tennessee's baseball coach, and who the hell knows who Tennessee's baseball? You couldn't pick him out of a police lineup. Look, I think Tony's tortured in this decision. I don't think anybody knows. People will tell you, I think around him. I've heard people tell me in that inner circle that he's going. I've heard people in that inner circle say they think he's staying. I think this thing could go. I have no idea how it's going to go. Personally, I just have trouble seeing him leave here. And I think that's why he's so tortured by the decision. Matt, where are you? 70 minutes later, and then we go back to the phones.
I mean, I have no clue. I probably lean towards him leaving ever since the stuff happened Saturday.
Yeah.
But, the longer it goes on, the fact that he's been here in Knoxville and at practice and around the complex, I think only helps Tennessee's chances. But kind of like you said, I think it's one thing to like tell the Giants he's coming or say, I'm going to take that job. But I think the harder thing for him would be to tell Tennessee that he's leaving, and not necessarily like the fans or whatever, but his family here, like the players,
those
and
kids.
all
Yeah.
the support. Like I think that would be the hardest part for him, to tell all them that he's leaving. And maybe it's wishful thinking, but at the end of the day, I think that might keep him here. And the fact that, because I'm sure he's thought this stuff through millions of times over the weekend. He's just such a great fit for college baseball and Tennessee and this fan base. Like he's just such a perfect fit here. And it's just hard to see him. I mean, he would find a way to be successful, but it's hard to see him like being happy as a manager where, you've got 65 losses built into your season, no matter how great you are and how great your team is. And that's hard for me to see him like being comfortable with on a yearly basis. That's a tough thing for somebody as competitive as he is to have to deal with.
Yeah, I could see the one way to look at it when you're trying to make this kind of decision and you're so torn is you tell yourself, I'm taking the other job. I've decided I'm going to call my future employer and tell him I'm taking the job. Make that choice, and then how do you feel about it? Once you say, okay, that's why I kept changing my mind on stuff. Because then when you really feel what it's like to leave, that can be very hurtful. And if this is dragging on this long, and he's so connected to people here, and if
You heard Dwayne Light's story right there.
Yeah,
that's who he is, man. I'm telling you, this place gave him a chance. Now, it's not the athletic director that gave him a chance, but this place has totally, full-throatedly embraced him. That is a big deal, John, to him. A big deal.
And how often does that happen with anybody, anywhere?
That's
it's
exactly
very,
right.
It's very rare.
How many people, John, have you ever seen here that are over with a fan base the way this guy is here? In your 47 years, and your 50 years of covering sports, how many coaches have you ever seen that mean as much to a community as this guy does?
Pat Summitt comes to mind.
Yes, and rightfully so.
But Pat Summitt was here. She was a native Tennessean. She was all about Tennessee, and she was here for decades, and she was the program. There, you could say Lady Vols basketball. It was Pat Summitt basketball, and you couldn't separate the two. And so, but Tony Vitello, what was different about him? And Bruce Pearl had a quality like this too. Bruce Pearl was here for 6 years, and think about it, how he infused Tennessee basketball with so much energy and enthusiasms. I'm trying to think. Before I came here, I've been a lot of places. I followed sports a long time, but for one school to have really those two people, and now Vitello in 3 different sports where they are all so connected. But Vitello, the difference with Vitello, he did it like Pearl. He did it quickly, but Bruce Pearl couldn't take Tennessee to the very top. And Vitello did that. Think about how fast he did this. Worst program around, worst program in the SEC, and he's got to climb over all these other teams. I mean, it's not easy to do. It's so hard recruiting and signing and closing a deal in baseball when you got to parcel out 11.5 scholarships. And he did it so quickly. First year he had a winning season. Second year he goes to the NCAA tournament. Then he wins. He goes to the College World Series 3 times in 4 years. That's hard to do anywhere, and he did it in the hardest league to do it.
With 0 facilities. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tom, it's Rusty.
Hey, Rusty, welcome in.
Thanks, brother. Hey, I want to talk a little bit about Josh Heupel and football. I know it's not the topic of the day, but I want to hit that a little bit. But just my quick Tony thing is, if he takes the Giants job, I'm going to pull for the dude. I think he's a heck of a great dude. He's a Vol. No matter what, he's one of us, and wish him well. I can get behind him no matter what choice he makes on this and not be angry with him. Because if winning the highest trophy in the sport that he loves is something he wants to pursue, I can't knock him for that. But if it goes the way of he's coaching against us in a couple years, that would be what I couldn't take.
That would be a completely different scenario.
Like Rick Pitino ended up at Louisville.
Bruce. I mean, LSU fans never got over Nick Saban going to Alabama, but he didn't go directly. Even so, they just couldn't handle it. I don't think fans had as much trouble though with Bruce Pearl at Auburn.
I kind of did at first.
Well, but
I was going to mention that really bothered me at first
when he was coaching Auburn. But I think a lot of people, I mean, they still pull for Tennessee, but they wanted Bruce Pearl to do well. I think a lot of them were happy with his success. And also, I think one thing that factored into that.
Do those people think he was a good guy? Because that's what I don't understand. Anyway.
Well, but I'm just saying what factored into that with those fans was that Bruce Pearl didn't have a choice. He got fired.
Yeah, I get that.
So whereas Nick Saban, even though he left LSU for another job, albeit an NFL one, but then he went back to Alabama. So he wasn't fired. He left and he won a championship. But think about it in sports. It happens. Go back to guys like, with most of these guys, though, it's on a level of winning and losing, success or failure. And if somebody's leaving, if Nick Saban's leaving Alabama, that fan base is grieving because he's won 6 national titles. But there's more to it with Tony Vitello because all the personal relationships and all the way the fans adore him, it's not just about the winning. They love Tony Vitello. They love his personality.
We love the dude that gave the speech about Cal Stark a couple of years ago, regardless of the outcome of the ball game. Yeah, we love Tony for who he is, not just what he does winning baseball games. I wish Tony would call Lane Kiffin and ask about regret. I wish he would call Rick Pitino and ask about regret, because those two guys regret respectively leaving Kentucky and leaving Tennessee for what they thought were their dream jobs.
Can you imagine, Rusty?
Now Nick Saban, they shouldn't, because Nick wasn't happy in Baton Rouge. Nick has no regrets. He's glad he ended up at Alabama eventually, so we don't need to call Nick.
Well, if you think back to Rick Pitino, can you imagine what Kentucky would have done in basketball if Rick Pitino had never left?
Yeah, it would have been 10 times worse than what Kentucky did to college basketball through Tubby and Calipari even. Yeah.
I think he would have won. He might have been Mike Krzyzewski at Duke.
He might have been what Saban was at Bama throughout the late 90s and early 2000s. Yeah. Can I get into a little Heupel thing?
Yeah, hit it.
So in 4 years and 6 games, I've never questioned the play call that Josh Heupel has made. Never. Tons of people have. Too conservative. Too running up the middle. I think Josh has been almost a perfect play caller. I think he had a really bad play call the other day. First time I've ever questioned it. But I'm not even mad about that, because no coach is going to call every play perfect. What I am really bothered about from Saturday was him insulting all of our intelligence. in what he answered and how he answered a question in post game. I get he's vanilla as all heck in press conferences. It's who he is, and I have no problem with that. Not getting answers directly is great. That's fine. Do all you want to. You don't have to let everybody behind the curtains. But he was asked directly on the play in question, when did you decide to run that play that ended up a pick six? And he was and when he was asked that, his answer was after Bama called the timeout. That's just a bold-faced lie. They came out before the timeout in the same formation. And we know he wasn't going to run the ball before the timeout because you can't. You can't do it. And his lie was, we decided to run that play action pass after they called a timeout. That's just not true. And that's trying to tell us that's him trying to hide the fact that, yeah, Bama called a timeout and we weren't wise enough to alter our plan and do it and run another play.
But Rusty,
to change the play we had called.
Do you think he just overthought it though? Okay, they're calling timeout. They're expecting us to run the ball, so we're going to fool them.
No. He underthought it. He knew he couldn't run the ball, and he has to know the board is calling the timeout to say, don't even worry about the run because they're not going to. They're planning on getting 3 points worst case scenario. But that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that he didn't make an adjustment to what he was going to do during the timeout, but then he lied about it to us and said, "Oh, we decided to run that play after." Well, if that's the case, you wouldn't have been in the exact same formation you were before, knowing a run play is not an option. It's dishonest, and it's telling us all we're stupid, and you're not gonna understand what I did.
Well, that's kind of coach-like.
It's the name I don't really use very much, and that's the first time I've been bothered by him. And I love the dude. I think he's still gonna win a ton of football games here and be great for us. I'm not negative or anything like that, but I found that really, really insulting. Like a former coach used to always insult our intelligence when he would say stuff to the media.
You know, and I appreciate the call. We all sort of have our bad moments, though, right? It's like,
have you ever had a bad moment on this show, Tony?
Come on, man. Probably 10 in the last hour.
I can only think of 6.
865-200-5402. We'll get some more calls in. I want to hear from you. This Tony Vitello thing, I think today's the day. We talk it out, what's going to happen, and God love Josh Heupel. We continue with more after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline, online at tldlogistics.com.
Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. on the field and off. Always go for Dos with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team started at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we're the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our trials last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
sense of the Tony Vitello thing is that it's coming down today. I believe that we're going to know one way or another whether the Tony Vitello era is over or whether his reign is going to continue through the Southeastern Conference. Matt Dixon, we jumped on Saturday, is our wont here when things break out. You know, Matt said Saturday, and I can't get this thought out of my mind. And I don't want to blow Matt's head up because I listened to him. He's a smart guy. He said, here's how this thing's going to play out. Tony leaves here, if he leaves. And at that point, Matt, it almost felt like a fait accompli he was going to leave, didn't it, on Saturday? I just thought he was gone Saturday.
Yeah, it felt very likely, yes.
And we were both kind of emotional about it. And I mean, look, I lose objectivity when it comes to Tony. I'm sorry. He's a paisan. He's fun. Anyway. He's a good dude. Matt said what's going to happen is he's going to go Major League Baseball. He's going to be totally miserable, which I think is right. I don't think he's a Major League Baseball guy. He's perfect for the college game. And then John said to me today when we were outside, he said, if he leaves here, he won't come back here. That's it. He might come back here and live here one day, but he won't come back to coach because it's just not how it works. And Matt said, and he'll end up at Arkansas. Arkansas will see the opportunity and get in touch with him when they watch how miserable he is in Major League Baseball. And they'll move that Van Horn guy out of there. He'll take the Arkansas job and he'll go win their first national championship down there. That almost seems too plausible to believe.
How long has Van Horn been there? What is his age? I mean, would he could?
He's been there for 20 years.
He's like 60 plus years.
Yeah, he's in the early 60s, mid-60s.
He's just a kid then.
Don't make me feel like a man. Let's go back to the phones. TLD Logistics phone lines are ringing off the hook today. We've heard from all kinds of folks today. I can tell you that Tony's in Knoxville. I can tell you they are practicing. And Brian Hartman, there's a fan movement. Share it with us.
Yeah, they're encouraging Tennessee fans to pack the porches, a social media movement this afternoon for the 2:45 baseball scrimmage. You can't go into the regular part of the stadium due to construction, but they want as many people on the porches as possible. So that's something to write on your list.
John, do you like that we still have a construction zone over there like 3 years later?
Well,
I mean,
that's another story altogether. I know how construction can go because well, okay, if the people are going over there, I can imagine how many people can those porches hold? Could that be dangerous?
Back to the phones we go. I don't know. There's triple-decker porches there. Are they going to open them? I don't know.
W. Lynn will go there, and he needs to go there with his flag
in full throat.
I've seen W. Lynn wave that flag.
W. Lynn, let me tell you something, W. Lynn. If you went over there, you'd breathe life into those festivities. Let's go to the phones.
Would Earl and Judy go over there?
Are you kidding me? I bet they're there right now. Get as many people in here as humanly possible. I just I'm
thinking of a prayer vigil.
That's what it feels like. Matt, this feels like a vigil, doesn't it, Matt? It's a weird feeling today in town. It's weird. We can't lose
this is Coach Krzyzewski. This is Coach Krzyzewskiville when he was deciding to take the Laker job.
We can't lose this guy,
tents, and they had tents camped out by Cameron in the summertime.
We can't lose this guy, man. Hello and welcome in. You're
on.
Tony,
Madison in Texas.
Hey, Madison, welcome in.
Hey, guys. First, just want to say on Tony, I'm a guy who I never would have watched Tennessee baseball in a million years if it wasn't for this guy. Never watched it before, never cared about it, just wasn't in my frame of reference or attention. Yep. And he changed that for me. Now, I won't say I watch every game, but certainly come playoff time, I'm watching. And when we go to the College World Series and we have the regionals, super regionals, it's just super fun. I hope he stays, but you know what? He's a talented guy. Who's to say that he won't go have success there? So I'll be rooting for him either way, but gosh, it'd be a big loss for us. He's just done such a great job.
All right. And what was your second point you wanted to make, Madison?
So, Tony, I think it was maybe Rusty that called earlier, and I got a couple things for you guys here on the football front. So first, Heupel in the post-game press conference, and I love Heupel. I hope he stays here for a long time. I think he's got to get some things fixed and maybe get some new people around him. So I'll just start by saying that this isn't a negative Heupel thing, but when good things happen, you got to praise him. When bad things happen, you got to call him out. He was very critical of Joey for the pass at the end of the half. And guys, I haven't heard anybody talk about this, but when you look at the replay, there's a tight angle, and I actually emailed this to you, Tony, if you want to take a look. That pass was tipped, and it was left inside because it was tipped by an Alabama player because everybody knew we were going to pass, and nobody fell for the play action fake. So to see Josh just throw Joey under the bus when it was his play call and he didn't take any responsibility, I mean, that's just really bad. So I hope he improves. I wish he had said something on Monday to take kind of back what he said about Joey. And you even heard him. He said, "Oh, guys, well, this isn't me putting it on Joey." Oh, why'd you say that then, Josh? Because clearly you were putting it on Joey, and you just can't do that. You're going to need Joey the rest of the season. That just really burned me up.
Madison,
what are y'all's thoughts on that?
Excuse me, Madison. What are you saying he said exactly about Joey?
He said they asked him about the play call, right? And he said, well, we made the decision. You can either get two opportunities or one. We decided to go with the play action pass. Quarterback leaves the ball inside, and that's the result.
Hey,
okay.
Hey, Matt, do you have a problem? This is two callers in a row now that have a problem with it. Matt Dixon, do you?
Not really, because I don't really think Heupel ever says any things in media settings that are very thoughtful. He doesn't put much thought into how he approaches the media. And now that you could maybe that's a bigger criticism that you can have, but I don't really put much thought into what he says.
In other words, it's not even a devious or a blame deflecting thing. Going before the media is such a rudimentary exercise to him that he doesn't even think about what's coming out of his mouth. That is sort of how I take Heupel's.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
Well, but that's how you usually take what he says.
Yeah.
But he never says anything specific.
Right.
So now he's saying, throw the ball inside. And so now he's being specific about a play. And so that, I think, is why it bothers.
These guys are keying on this? That's
yes,
interesting.
that's why it bothers fans more, because he never says anything.
That's an interesting thought.
And he's saying something very pointed
to take heat off himself.
Don't look at me.
Don't question my play call.
That's
interesting.
That's like Bobby Petrino the other day in Arkansas talking about a play, and he goes, well, yeah, we drew up a good play. Guy was open, just didn't make the throw. I mean, that's Bobby Petrino in a nutshell.
In other words,
I'm as smart as ever, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Madison, I kind of see what you're saying.
I mean, what bothered me, guys, is it was clearly a horrible play call. And if that rests on Heupel's shoulders, it rests on his shoulders. I would have liked to have heard him say something like, hey, guys, if we could have that one back, we would. But first of all, Coach, you haven't seen the tape. This is the important thing. The ball was tipped. It was tipped, actually looked like two times, because there are two different Bama defenders in the passing lane. Now, I mean, I don't think Joey's without blame. He probably should have thrown that 10 rows up in the stands. It wasn't open. They were sitting on it. But it was a horrible play call. Heupel didn't put his guy in the right position. And I just, guys, I have a real problem with what he said there. So I'm not going to, hold a grudge over it, but anyways. Hey, I appreciate you guys taking my call on the post-game show. I think we're all in kind of a bad state. You're going for Dos and Trace and Quattro and
oh hell yeah, man! You need Dos, Trace, Quattro, Cinco, Seis, Siete, and Nueve to get through that night. Goodness gracious, man!
You did.
That was a painful game.
I was critical of both of the coordinators, and so I want to make it more, because I've really dug into this, guys. So on the offensive side, there is in the modern game, there are not many guys calling plays that are having success. I mean, this is an objective data point.
Head coaches.
These head coaches,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
These offensive head coaches that are also calling their own plays. So I'll give you a couple examples.
Okay.
Nobody's won the Natty doing that since 2013. Jimbo Fisher, of course, he's unemployed now. You have Ryan Day, which I think if Ryan Day can win a championship, I think Heupel can too, but he's going to need a similar, set of support around him. Day was calling plays until last year.
Yep.
He passed that on to Chip Kelly. What do? They go win the national championship.
Yep.
Even Eli Drinkowitz over at Missouri, they're winning 5-6 games a year. He gives up play calling duties. Now they're a 10-11 win team over the last few years. So I think it's time. It's not 1996 anymore. Heupel's not Spurrier, and it's time for him to give up calling plays. And look, I'm not trying to rip on this Halsey guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He probably could get a job at Carson Newman and make a nice living. But if he's not able to call plays, you got to find someone that you can trust to call plays. If Jeff Lebby was ever available, that'd be great. You got to find one of these guys like a Chip Kelly. And I don't care if you have to pay him all this money, because you got all this Adidas money now. You got to find someone that you can trust to call the plays. And on the defensive side, I'll be quick on this. You need to find someone in the modern game that can coach his own defense. I don't know if that's Gerard Mayo. I don't know if that's the Pry guy who just got fired as head coach at Virginia Tech that come in to be the DC. If it was Brent Venables, if he was ever available, you paid the guy $8 million and he's worth every cent. But in the modern game, Tony, man-to-man is explosive play city. The quarterbacks are too good at placing the ball. The defenders or the receivers are getting away with too much in terms of hand fighting and pushing off. And if Tim Banks can't coach his own defense, you'll never have a great defense unless you have kind of all this NFL talent from last year that we had. So you got to find somebody on both sides to upgrade, hopefully with the Adidas money. We're not at UCF anymore. Let's go get some real coaches.
Thank you,
I'll
Madison.
jump off here. Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you.
But I think what Josh Heupel does best is call plays. I think that's what he does best. So can he hire a better play caller than what he is? I'm not sure he can.
But how can you call plays and manage a football game at the same time in this era, as fast as that game is now? It's totally
the easier thing to do would be to have somebody on staff to help you do the game management stuff.
Yeah,
and he needs
which is
that,
what Lane Kiffin.
We kind of talked about this before. About how difficult it is to do all that. Sarkisian at Texas is the same way. He calls his own plays, and you see they're kind of struggling right now. Yeah. Obviously, it is a valid thing to question, but like John said, Heupel's best strength is as an offensive play caller. So you don't really want to take that away from him. The easier thing to do would be to hire somebody or have somebody on staff whose sole job is to help him in game with those decisions, to where he doesn't have to balance both of those at the same time. Because that's really, I think it's impossible to do when you play at the tempo Tennessee wants to offensively.
Right. How can anybody control all that? And you're going to look like they look, which is kind of sloppy and helter-skelter. And, it was fun when you were running past people before these defenses adjusted to you and you just played long ball and you had to lay down linemen 3 or 4 times a game. It's a totally different deal right now, 5 years into this thing, and they're going to have to adjust and tighten things up. Let's get our next call in. And on Tim Banks, I call his zone defense, Madison, the twilight zone defense. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air. It's awful. It's just impossible to watch their zone defense. They pass guys off to one another, and there's nobody there. It's like, what are we doing? Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
What's going on, Tony? It's great. How are you?
Hey, great. Talia, welcome in, brother.
It's really bizarre that one of our top 3 sports coaches has one foot out the door and people are still calling about football. I have a bunch of stuff here I'm going to go through as fast as I can. Number one, I do not think he's leaving. Time kills all deals. First of all, my background, I play drums, but I'm also a headhunter and have been one for 15 years. So there's really 6 things that make somebody make a change. And then 3 of those are more weighted than the other 3. So the 6 things are challenge, location, advancement, money, people, and stability. It actually forms a word, clamps. Out of those 6, there are 3 that are more heavily weighted, and that is challenge, advancement, and money. Now, there's one other thing, and that is a big one, and it's pain with your current boss. And I think this is an ego thing between Vitello and Danny White, and I ultimately think that Vitello is going to stay, but he has definitely made his power known to the athletic department, to the chancellor, to all the powers that be. They're going to know, and Danny White's going to know that, okay, I cannot push this guy because he can only go so far. However, there's another concern that we could have, which is at some point, this is going to happen again, even if he stays. At some point, this is going to happen again, because once it happens once, it's going to keep happening, which is Vitello is going to get upset with something. He's going to start looking elsewhere. And eventually, I think this is going to lead to him going to another college. But I don't think he's going to take this job.
That is a really good analysis. I wonder, though, that's a valid point. But I really think one of the things you mentioned was challenge. And if you go back to Tony Vitello taking this job, I know it was a first head coaching job. Yeah, so that's a challenge. But think about what a huge challenge Tennessee baseball was.
Oh.
And Tony Vitello, you had an apathetic fan base, a losing program, in a league full of winning programs. And Tony Vitello, Tony Basilio said,
I snickered at him.
Yeah, Tony Vitello, we're going to fill this place up. The challenge factor, I think that's very important, what you mentioned, that's a big factor in this. Well, imagine the challenge that the Giants present. The first guy with no pro experience becoming a Major League Baseball.
That's a major concern of mine.
Major League Baseball manager.
Yeah.
And here's a guy who's had challenges in the past and always met them.
People saying you can't do something
you
to
can't
him
do it.
is
It's
fuel to him.
No,
man.
I can. Yeah. They're saying, and also they're saying, yeah, this hasn't been done before. And Tony said, well, you hadn't met me before.
Yeah, it fuels him.
Yeah. So I think it's good you brought that up.
Valid. Those are valid responses. Looking at the major league game versus the college game, there's a reason this hasn't been done before.
Yep.
My take on Vitello is that he's unparalleled in the roster construction, the hype that he has put around the program. And he did win a championship. And some people are going to disagree with me, but I've watched a lot of baseball. I'm not super crazy about his game management. I'm not super crazy about his management, from inning to inning with pitching changes. And
I'm not either.
Like that.
I'm not either.
I think he's just average. Yep. Yeah, I think he's just average with that. And that does not translate well to the majors, because that stuff is going to get scrutinized, Tony, as you mentioned, for 162 games.
Yep.
Everything's going to get picked apart. And really the culture and the hype part, I think it was Matt that said yesterday, you're going to have very little impact on roster construction, especially when you're coming in new. And also in the majors, I mean, everybody's really good. Even the crappy teams are just loaded with studs. But I'll go back to, and John, you mentioned something earlier about, this was really good because most people don't do this. You said, when I was about to change jobs, I put myself in the future of what it would feel like to leave the job and go to the new job and resign from my current employer. And you went into all that, and most people don't do that. And that's what we as headhunters try to help people to think about moving forward. But we always think that we're going to make these decisions based on logic, and we don't. And I want you guys to think about big purchases that you've made, just because this is a buying atmosphere that we're going with right here. So when you buy something, ultimately you go with your gut. Now, you'll back it up with the logic. You'll do the pros and cons list. But at the end of the day, if you have 81 cons and 80 pros, but your gut tells you that you want that thing, you're going to do it. I think most people go with their gut. But I'll circle back to a point I just made, which is, again, I think time kills all deals. And the longer this drags out, I think it's very likely that he's going to stay.
God, Gray, you fired me up, focused me, and prepared me for the rest of this program. And, man, I hope you're right. And let me just say this about Gray. I had no idea that you had these chops and what you're doing. I know you got chops when you're on the drum kit, but, brother, you showed it. You showed some serious range today, and I appreciate the call, man. Thank you. And I hope you're right. I hope Gray's right.
Even if he stays, I know there's going to be probably other major league opportunities that come open, but you don't want this to become a yearly occurrence where we're sitting here worried for a few days whether we're going to keep our baseball coach that's successful.
Brian, I don't think that'll I think Major League Baseball will take this personal. It's the Giants involved. And so we were saying, I forgot who was saying earlier, and it's a logical point about, well, they might say, well, I'm the one that can get him. I think they're more apt to go the other way in Major League Baseball. They say, this guy rejected all of us when he rejected the Giants. He rejected the show.
As we continue,
that's true.
We're going to continue with more after this. TB here for Cedar Bluff Plumbing, a live and local company that's been serving our area for over 32 years and counting, because every customer counts, and I mean no job is too small. Cedar Bluff Plumbing just voted #1 by City View magazine because multiple plumbing experts are on call to serve all your plumbing needs. Chances are there'll be a plumber in your area when you call, and they won't send some salesman to your house. You're going to get a high character, trustworthy, highly trained plumber who will serve you, not like some of these guys that look like they came off the set of America's Most Wanted. Cedar Bluff Plumbing is Basilio tested and approved.